Ever feel like your family is living in a pressure cooker? Or maybe those intense emotions are on the edge of boiling over at any moment. If you've got a child with chronic irritability or consistent meltdowns, you know exactly what I mean. But what about the siblings? They're right there in the middle of it all, watching the chaos unfold and struggling to find their place. What if I told you it's possible that your other kids not only survive, but actually thrive? In today's episode, we're diving into 5 essential keys that will help your children, both your child with emotional intensity and their siblings, build resilience, emotional strength, and a sense of calm. Are you ready to turn the chaos into connection? Let's dive in. Welcome to Calm Connection Parenting, where we buckle up for the emotional roller coaster of raising intense and highly sensitive kids and discover some amazing things along the way. I'm your host, Jamie Kirkbride, a mom of 7, parenting coach, professional counselor, and your guide through the wild world of meltdowns, challenging behaviors, and big emotions. If you're exhausted and overwhelmed, feeling like you're always one step away from chaos, searching for a little calm in your day, then you're in the right place. Here, you'll find practical tools and faith-based strategies to transform your family. Together, we'll laugh, we'll learn, and we'll figure out how to turn those messy meltdowns into moments of connection. Let's jump in. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often overlooked but vitally important for parents of children with this chronic irritability and consistent emotional upset. You may have a child who is diagnosed with something like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, or maybe disruptive mood dysregulation disorder like DMDD. Or maybe you have a child who is actually not diagnosed at all, but has these consistent and pretty impacting meltdowns that you know are affecting your home. This is not just about your child with the chronic emotional dysregulation. It's about the impact on the whole family, and today, especially the siblings. When you have a child with emotional control issues, or what we would call emotional dysregulation, you're not just navigating that challenge, but you also need to consider how to help their siblings cope with the constant upheaval in their home. This is a difficult journey for everyone involved, but I want you to remember there's hope. And here today, you can find strategies to help both your child with the emotional dysregulation and their siblings to thrive, not just survive. If you're living this reality, you likely feel very overwhelmed, unsure of where to even start when it comes to meeting the needs of your other children. And I want you to know I get it. Today, I'm going to share some of the tools that I've learned, both professionally as a professional counselor and parent coach, as well as what I've learned in dealing with our own emotionally intense child. These strategies can help siblings navigate the trauma and emotional chaos of living with a sibling who experiences chronic emotional dysregulation. So let's get started with this. Siblings experience. It's helpful to start by acknowledging something we often don't talk about enough. Siblings of children with intense emotional responses, maybe chronic meltdowns, or as some people might call them, rages. They're greatly affected. When your intense child starts to get agitated or dysregulated, the whole family feels it. And while your attention understandably shifts to your child in crisis, your other children are often left to process what's happening on their own. And this can be incredibly confusing and even scary for some of them. If you're living this, you already know how it unfolds. Long before others might even pick up on the small little signs, the whole family sees it, hears it, feels it, and knows it. That's the emotional dysregulation taking form. Everyone's on edge because you're accustomed to looking for the tiniest indicator that it might be happening again. And at this point, your focus may be entirely on the child who's in the greatest need of your attention. How can you calm them? What should you do? Where should you go? What do they need? How can you help them find peace quickly in such an emotionally charged situation? But what about the siblings? Their siblings may feel fear, sadness, overwhelm, confusion, and anger. They may also feel shame and embarrassment about the situation, especially if they don't understand why their sibling is behaving the way they are. They might try to cope by withdrawing, acting out, or even trying to interrupt the situation. Often, their coping mechanisms don't work, and the emotionally dysregulated child then escalates even further. This leaves the sibling feeling helpless and often unnoticed. They're thinking, how can I calm them? What should I do? Where should I go? These siblings are also living with the emotional toll of never knowing when the next outburst might happen, but wanting to be prepared and ready. Even when things seem calm, they live in constant fear that the situation could and likely will escalate again. This is what we refer to as being hypervigilant, and many families are living hypervigilance. This is a heavy burden for them to bear, and one that often goes unnoticed. But this chronic emotional dysregulation truly affects the whole family. And it's important to remember that chronic emotional outbursts and the diagnoses that include that affect the entire family, not just the child who's struggling with it personally. The siblings are often left out of the conversations about it, but they're incredibly important to the family dynamic. Society is starting to recognize the impact of disability on families, but there's still so much that needs to be done to support siblings of children with mental health challenges. As Dr. Avedon Malevsky points out, there is one member of the overall family system who has been neglected as part of the effort to attend to disability issues, namely the siblings of those with disabilities. Sibling issues in general is an area that has been neglected in research, application, and the law, despite the fact that siblings play an integral role in the lives of people throughout life. Whether we're discussing obvious disabilities or maybe even invisible disabilities, physical disabilities, or even emotional disabilities, this is true. Siblings feel this neglect deeply. Their world is filled with unpredictability. They never know when things will explode, and they're often left to manage their own emotions while the family focuses, often by necessity or even safety, on the child in crisis. But this can leave the sibling feeling isolated, uncertain, scared, and even resentful. So it's important that we understand this impact on their siblings. There's an important reason why siblings of children with disabilities or mental health challenges often struggle emotionally. They can feel left out of the conversation, outside of the issue, yet it affects them so greatly. They may not understand what the diagnosis means, and they may feel that it's unfair that all the attention is going to their sibling. In the midst of it all, they might even begin to question their own worth and importance. It's common for many siblings to bear a lot of responsibility. They might feel the need to be the good child, the responsible child, the one who holds it all together. In reality, as you can understand, this is an immense amount of pressure for any child to carry. This emotional burden, which is often unseen, can lead to stress or anxiety and even depression in siblings. It's also common for siblings to feel they're expected to keep things in the family from falling apart, or maybe even where others don't know about it, or simply to just not add to the stress the family already feels. That's a lot for any child to handle, and it can lead to emotional issues that are just as serious as those of the child with the intense emotional responses or the diagnosis. But don't worry, I'm not going to leave you without solutions. In fact, I'd love to share something special with you. Are your child's emotions and challenging behaviors pushing you to the edge? You're not alone. From constant struggles to emotional outbursts, it's easy to feel like you're just one step away from chaos. But what if I told you there's a better way? In the Calm Connection program, you'll get access to a video course, workbooks, and a supportive community to learn practical, faith-based strategies for handling even the toughest of behaviors. But the best part, you get weekly coaching calls with me, where we can explore your child or family's specific struggles and work together for some solutions. If you're tired of trying methods that just don't work, or you feel like you don't have time to add one more thing to your plate, don't worry. This program was designed to fit into a busy parent's life and give you real solutions with some quick wins too. Ready to take the first step toward a calmer home? Visit calmconnectionparent.com and learn more about the Calm Connection coaching program. You've got this, and I'm here to support you. This leads us, of course, to wonder, well, how can we minimize the impact on siblings? Well, before we get into that, I want to take just a moment to say this. You are not alone on this journey. It's okay to feel overwhelmed, and it's okay to admit that this is hard. But I'm here to help you understand that with some purposeful and intentional intervention, you can help your children, both the child with those emotional outbursts and their siblings, not just survive and thrive instead. It might seem overwhelming, but it really is possible. So today, I am going to cover 5 key things your child needs in order to successfully navigate life with a sibling who experiences this chronic emotional dysregulation. Now, these 5 key things can help you navigate these sticky situations, these difficult days, and these strategies are focused on meeting the emotional needs of the siblings while creating a healthier family dynamic for everyone. The first key is calm. This one might seem like a big ask when everything feels out of control, but calm is crucial. You cannot help your children manage their emotions if you aren't managing your own. Co-regulation is what we call it when you model emotional regulation for your children. It means staying as calm as possible in a chaotic situation, showing your kids that it is possible to manage emotions even in the middle of a storm, and even if you aren't feeling it on the inside. So this might mean taking deep breaths, stepping away for a moment. It might even just mean asking yourself what you need before you can talk through something or attend as a calm parent. Maybe it's just talking yourself mentally through the situation, giving yourself that mantra of, it's okay, I can do this. My child isn't giving me a hard time, he's having a hard time. Sometimes those internal mantras can be really powerful. It's essential to remember that staying calm isn't just for you, it's for your child's emotional health too. If you need support, whether through therapy, parent coaching, a support group, or sometimes just simple self-care, don't hesitate to seek help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. The second key is compassion. Your child with the intense emotions and outbursts isn't the only one struggling. They're not the only one feeling overwhelmed. The siblings need you to take time to acknowledge their feelings. Show empathy for what they're experiencing and let them know that you understand that this situation feels hard, sometimes unfair, and even unbearable at times for them as well. And don't be afraid to label what they're feeling, and don't pretend it's just not happening. Compassion involves recognizing their pain, taking time to validate it, and helping them feel seen, heard, and understood. Your ability to empathize and truly understand what they're going through will go a long ways in helping them feel supported. The third key is open communication. Your child needs to know they can talk to you about what's happening, how it's affecting them, and what they need. You might feel like you've communicated enough, but in truth, your child might still need more. Keep those lines of communication open. After a difficult situation, sit down and process it together. Ask them how they felt, what they think could have been different, and what they might need moving forward. Listen to understand and not to fix. Sometimes they just need to express what's going on inside, even if it doesn't really seem like a big issue to you. You just might be surprised at what comes up. The fourth key is consistency. In a household with emotional dysregulation, consistency is essential. The more consistent you can be in your approach to handling emotional outbursts, the more your children will feel secure in knowing what to expect. They can expect how you will handle it, what will be done, what won't be done, and how you will get through it. This includes everything from how you handle emotional outbursts to how you maintain simple routines in your family. Routines bring predictability, and predictability brings security. So create a plan for what you will do when things get tough, and let your children know what to expect. This structure helps your children relax and feel more in control of the situation. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, I understand the importance of calm, compassion, communication, and consistency. I get it. But the truth is, I don't always know what to do or what to say. I don't feel like I'm able to feel much compassion, let alone show the right compassion. And truth is, I'm not even sure I'm doing what's right. So do I really want to be consistently doing what might not be right? Well, if that's the case, you've heard about the Calm Connection coaching program. And in that program, we talk a lot about how to build your calm care plan, what that looks like when your child is becoming dysregulated. And we talk about what you can do, what your child can do, and we even address what siblings need. But I also want to let you know that for a limited time, I'm offering some special one-on-one coaching sessions to help you get started on the right path. So if you're sitting here today and you're saying, man, I just need some skills and strategies. I just need someone to help me sort this all out. Send me a message or email me at jamie@parentingwithpersonality.com, and we can get you some effective tools for this challenging journey. I don't want any parent to feel like they are without help or tools. Now, we've covered 4 keys that are pretty important: calm, compassion, communication, and consistency. But I promised you 5. So the last key, and likely the most important, the 5th and final key, is connection. Connection is vital. Both your child with chronic emotional dysregulation and their sibling need to know they are loved, valued, and not forgotten. Carve out special time for one-on-one moments with each child. Spend quality time together without the distractions of the chaos or emotions. And I encourage you, when you're spending this one-on-one time together, let the child lead. Letting them lead in that activity gives them an added sense of appropriate control. Also, encourage your child to connect with others who understand their experience. Maybe it's a sibling support group, a counselor, or another child that you know is facing similar challenges. Knowing they are not alone can be incredibly healing and empowering. I have a little story about this. You know, sometimes as adults, we go through these times and we may know in our minds that other people are dealing with similar issues. And yet, I think if we were honest, there are times we still feel like maybe what we're going through is different. Maybe we are the only ones. But we kind of have the added resources to search and look and find proof that there are others. But our children don't always have that. In fact, this was brought to light with me when I was tucking two of our younger kids in one night. And as I tucked them in, pardon me, this makes me just a little bit emotional. As I was tucking them in that night, I just wanted to let them know, I know today was really hard, but I just want you to know that when I was in my support group today, I saw that there was another family that's going through some of the same things. And I'll never forget the look on my son's face. And he looked at me and he said, "What do you mean? You mean other families have this too?" And I grabbed my phone and I opened up the group and I quickly scrolled through the number of posts that were there, quite endless. He looked at me in shock and he said, "I thought we were the only ones, Mom." And it kind of broke my heart because I hadn't bridged that gap for him, that what we were experiencing didn't make our family bad or wrong. We weren't alone in the struggle. There wasn't something wrong with us. We were just dealing with a mental health issue. And yes, at times it was really taking a toll on us. But it was so important that I see that response. And that's one reason that I always encourage coaches in my coaching, or encourage clients in my coaching program, to really take time to connect with those siblings. There's so much going on for them that they may never, ever communicate unless we take the time to ask the questions, to bridge the gaps and make those moments that are so tough pull together as we process, what did it mean for you? What did you need? What could we have done different? If this happens again, what can I do? I remember on one of our darkest, toughest days, I even went to school and pulled both of our younger kids out of their classrooms, walked them outside. I apologize. This makes me really emotional just remembering the day. And we sat on a picnic table outside. And as I hugged both of these siblings of our emotionally charged child, all we could do was cry. The three of us cried as we talked about what had happened that morning. We talked about how hard it was to see our emotional child struggle and how we felt scared and we didn't know how it was going to end. But it also gave me the chance to put my arms around them and say, "I'm here for you too. I see you. I understand. I understand that felt scary. I understand that you didn't know what I was going to do, but let me just tell you that I will always respond in love and I will always do what is best. And I would never do anything that would cause them to feel fearful or scared or harmed, but I will always promise to take care of you and them too." It's so important that we take the time, because even though I felt like I had probably communicated enough at home that morning, they still needed more. And there were many other days, I can promise you, where I had to go back and I had to offer more. Sometimes the things that they fear, they can't even put words to. So be perceptive. Watch their drawings, look at their art. Start conversations and listen to their responses. But pay attention to the little things and don't be afraid to ask tough questions. When things feel out of control, these siblings may fear that you will lose control. And you may need to simply take time to reassure them that even when emotions are high, even when things get loud, you will keep control. Reassure them. Don't be afraid of having those hard conversations that walk through maybe even the mistakes that you made and how you're going to do it different the next time. maybe even apologizing. You know what? I was raising my voice this morning, and you know what? I know when that happens, it makes you nervous. But I just want you to know I'm sorry I raised my voice, and this is what I wish I had done instead. I wish I'd taken a break and maybe gone and maybe get a drink and then come back, and we could have talked about it when I was a little more calm. But showing them that you understand what their life feels like when it's highly emotional or out of control. There is no reason for anyone to suffer in silence, not you as a parent, not the siblings, not the child who is struggling. So be willing to speak up and speak out. It helps not just your family, but I can promise you it will help other families as well. Well, there you have it. We've covered 5 essential keys that can help your children not just survive, but truly thrive in a home with consistent emotional dysregulation. Calm, compassion, communication, consistency, and connection. When you embrace these principles, you're creating a foundation where both your emotionally intense child and their siblings can build emotional resilience, trust, and love. I know it's not easy. Believe me, I get it. But with intention, patience, and these simple strategies, you can create a sense of stability and security for your whole family, even on the toughest and most unpredictable days. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Whether it's reaching out for support, connecting with others who get it, or finding the right resources for your family's unique needs. You've got this, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. So take a deep breath and remember, it's okay to ask for help and take small steps forward. Your family's journey toward connection and calm starts right here. Now, if you're ready to take the next step, be sure to reach out. Let's keep moving forward together. And of course, stay tuned for the next episode because we'll continue to explore ways to create a calm, loving, and resilient home for everyone involved. Well, that's it for today. But the journey to calm parenting doesn't stop here. If you are nodding in agreement, laughing, or maybe even crying, don't worry, we've all been there. Make sure to share this podcast with a friend who might need it too. Don't forget to connect with us at parentingwithpersonality.com or join our Parenting with Personality Facebook group. I'd love to support you there. And until next time, you've got this. Just keep calm and parent on.